Welcome back to another video here on the channel. We're going to be doing a little bit of a modification here on my wife's genuine Buddy Kick 125. Now this is a fantastic scooter. I love my Royal Alloy 150, but I tell you what, if I fit better on this Buddy Kick, I don't know, I could argue any reason not to buy it other than the fact that, again, I'm a 6'3", 200 and some odd pound shaved ape, and sitting on this scooter makes me look a bit silly. I'll give you a picture of that later. But after I got done putting on the Prima Cowl Guards on the Royal Alloy GT 150, let's cut to a picture of it here just so you can see what that looks like. She came home, saw that, and said, I have to have that for my scooter. Now she's got this beautiful tangerine orange Buddy Kick 125, and no one's dropped it yet, but there's always that chance. Never hurts to add a little extra protection, and the style points of those chrome Prima Guards are really just fantastic. So I ordered her a set off of Amazon. They shipped directly from Scooter Works. I think it was $117, which you just can't argue with that kind of value to put something nice and easy right up here on the scooter to make it look a little bit nicer and add a little bit of protection for that plastic on the sides. The Royal Alloy, we've got metal. I can tell you from my experience, it'll scrape on that metal, but it won't collapse or punch in or really dent too much. You may have seen that in our other video. The plastic here, well, that's going to scratch, crack, and bend in pretty quickly, I think. It's a pretty durable plastic, but it's plastic nonetheless. So let's go ahead and take a look at those Prima Guards. So here's our Prima Cowl Guards just as they arrived to me. We've got two of them. They're wrapped in plastic. They've got the hardware. We are logoed and labeled right here, Prima Scooter Cowl Guards Buddy Kick. So made in Taiwan and ready to bolt up here on this. Let's pull one out and take a look at it. Taking a look at our Prima Cowl Guard here now that we've got it unboxed. It's a nice solid piece of metal. The welds are pretty good, all things considered. But I tell you, I can put plenty of energy into this, and it doesn't want to flex. It doesn't want to give in or bend or deform at all. And I think that's a really nice thing. You know, you can kind of hear it there. It's a solid sound. These are going to bolt up nice and easy, just like this, using a bolt in the front and a bolt in the rear here, just like we had when we did the Royal Alloy, if you watched that video. But I think that doing these videos is important because making a scooter your own is a big part of what makes scootering so much fun for everybody. I love putting new parts on my scooters, whether it's a sticker, a vinyl wrap, whether it's going to be parts like our Prima Cowl Guards, or you've seen what we've done with the Royal Alloy, new carburetors, new transmission kit, all of that good stuff. I think everybody should know just how easy it is to work on these scooters and to make them your own. It really helps you get in the mood for scooting, and I think it's just a great way to spend some time and not too much money. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about the tools that we're going to need for this project, the hardware that comes with it, and then dive into how exactly we're going to mount this up. Once we've done that, I'll walk you through one side and let you watch me do it on the other. With that, let's go ahead and jump in. The tools you need for this job are very straightforward. We're going to need a 10mm socket, either a deep socket or an extension with that, the appropriate ratchet, or if you prefer a battery-powered toy, a power ratchet here. We're going to need a 4mm Allen head. You can use a T-handle, or if you have a multi-Allen set pack that folds out, you can use one of those. And then you'll either need a plastic pry tool. I like these because it makes sure I don't damage anything. Or you can get away with using a flathead screwdriver because we are going to have to pry out one rubber plug on the floor of the scooter so that we can replace it. So the hand tools you need, 4mm Allen, 10mm socket, deep enough to reach down, the appropriate ratchet, and a pry tool. Now let's take a look at the hardware that they include along with those two beautiful chrome Prima Guards. As often happens when we're ordering these things from overseas, they arrive with a bag of hardware and no instructions. Hence the reason I make videos like this one. What you're going to get are two big aluminum spacers, two long 4mm Allen head bolts, two standard flat washers, two 10mm and Phillips bolts, and two of these thinner and smaller aluminum washers. So they go together in pairs. So thick washer, short bolt, thin washer, long bolt, and our thick washer here. But you can kind of see how they're laid out. That's how we're going to install them in the scooter. Now let's go ahead, let's take a look at what we have to do to install this, and then knock it out. We talked briefly when I held these up to show you, but we can see right here, this plug is where our first bolt is going to go. So we'll pull that out and our spacer will go in. And then moving around to the back of the scooter, we've got this bolt right here, just underneath the turn signal, in between that and the reflector. There's a 10mm black bolt here. We're gonna pull that off, and that is where the back end is going to fit in. And you can tell that's an oval slot, so we do have a little bit of play room, and what that means is we don't tighten it all down at once. Let's go back and get ready to install this. Starting out, we're going to remove this rubber plug at the rear of our floor pan here. And you can do that again with a plastic pry tool. I buy a set of these at Harbor Freight once every couple years, and we're just gonna reach in there and pry it up. Now I do recommend, regardless of what you're using, pry from the left or the right side of the scooter, because that's where the little tabs, as we can see there, that's where the little tabs are, and so you'll pop those out. And now in here, we've got this 10mm bolt, and that 10mm bolt is going to get pulled out. Once we've pulled that bolt out, we're going to set it off to the side. We're not using this again. We take the first big aluminum washer and we just drop it into the hole. That is going to be the base on which our cowl guard sits. One thing that we can do here is pop out our passenger pegs so that as we put this in, we at least have a little something where this is going to rest and keep it from wanting to fall down. When we come back over this way, we take our flat washer and our long 4mm Allen bolt. We're going to combine those and tighten down just a little bit the front of our cowl guard. So we can do that by hand. We can also come in with our 4mm Allen and just tighten that down. But we don't want it to be too tight, because now that we've got this here, we're going to go over to the back and get ready to install that. Here at the rear of the scooter, the process is going to be pretty much the same. Go ahead and remove our 10mm bolt. Once we've pulled this bolt all the way out, we can see that it does have a little bit of blue Loctite on there, so we'll make sure we grab that and put it on our new bolt. To install our new bolt, that thick aluminum washer is going to go behind our plate, and our bolt will go through, sandwiching that against the plastic here. So we'll start off by grabbing our blue Permatex or Loctite here and just putting a little dab on the threads. Line up our washer on the back, put our bolt through. Then we're going to come in and we're just going to get that started a little bit in the hole that we just took the bolt out of. This is our new bolt. It's giving us a little bit more reach so that we can bridge that full gap. Once we've got that started, we can come in with our power tool or our socket by hand and just tighten that guy up. Now I left our front loose up there so that we would be able to push this all the way backwards. And you can see we've got this big gap here, pushing that all the way backwards. And let's show you what that did up front. Up front, we can see now all we have to do is come in here and tighten this bolt down a little bit. And that's going to obstruct the least of our footwell here. We can take our plastic cap that we pulled out of the way and we'll set that off to the side with our factory bolts. Just like that, we've got our cowl guard installed. You can see it runs all the way back along the scooter. It tucks away nicely, and I think that looks pretty darn sharp here on the Buddy Kick. So let's go ahead, we'll put you on the other side, and we'll show you what it looks like watching from a third-person view while I slap on the right side of our scooter. Coming in, we pry off our little rubber plug here, set that in our pry tool off to the side. We grab our wrench, and we loosen our floor pan bolt Put that off to the side, and right away, drop our spacer in. Next, we're going to pop out our passenger foot peg and move towards the rear of the scooter here. Once we're back at the rear, pull this bolt out, grab our Loctite, and apply a little dab to our bolt. Now that is ready for us to get things installed. All we have to do is come over here, grab our cowl guard from the front, set our thin washer on top, insert that long bolt with the 4mm Allen head, and get that started a little bit. Again, we don't need to torque this all the way down, just enough to hold things in place. Come around to the rear of the scooter. We're going to put our thick washer in behind the plate, insert our bolt, line that up in the hole, and get it started. Now that that bolt's started, we're going to pull back on this as far as we can, tighten up our cowl guard there, come back around to the front, and tighten this up right here. Now that we've done that, our cowl guard is installed. So that is mere minutes of effort to get this installed on the right side. So if you watch the video, you should be ready to go out and slap these on as soon as Amazon or Scooter Works or whoever you order them from, including your genuine dealer. They will order them for you. And here we go. We've got those Prima Cowl Guards installed, looking pretty sharp on the scooter. Now, you may decide, and I may decide myself, to order new emblems and move them down or up a little bit. That is kind of hiding the buddy part, making this the genuine kick, I suppose. But as we walk around, we can see those blend in really nicely with our rear rack. You can't even really tell that that's not a factory part. It just looks great on the scooter. I'm really pleased with the way these turned out here and the way they turned out back there on the Royal Alloy. It gives the scooter just a nice little extra pop of style, and of course, a little bit of extra protection should anything occur. With that, we've installed our Prima Cowl Guards here on the Buddy Kick 125 by Genuine. This is a fantastic scooter. I think it's faster than my Royal Alloy over here. I think it's smooth, it's quick, it's got disc brakes front and rear, fuel injected, 4-valve motor. If you wanted me to talk a little bit more about this in a specific review or something, I'd be more than happy to do so. We've made some modifications now. We've got our beaded seat cover for my wife. We've got our cowl guards on, give us a little bit of added protection. And now both of my classic style scooters have these beautiful steel cowl guards mounted up, ready to do their job and protect the scooter should the worst occur, and all the time just making them look that much better. I think it's important that you know out there, you can not only maintain your own scooter, you can modify it, you can tweak it, you can really make it your own. And that's the point of all the videos I'm making here, whether it's the Scooter Rescue Project, working on that Roughhouse 50, or the Buddy 50 that I just acquired the other day. If it's changing the oil or the gear oil, swapping out your brake pads, replacing your exhaust, or putting on protective cowl guards like this, you can do it at home with just a few hand tools in a few minutes. I've got this workbench here. There's a video telling you how you can build your own. The goal is just to make sure that everybody can go out there and enjoy scooters to the fullest. With that, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you on the next one.